Celiac disease.
4 years ago, Elizabeth discovered she had celiac disease. That summer, she was malnourished with extreme anxiety and depression, which made her unable to function in day-to-day life. After switching to a gluten-free diet, she gained 30 pounds and became physically and mentally healthy, fully experiencing life again.
What is celiac disease? Celiac disease is an autoimmune response to gluten, which is found in barley, wheat, rye, and other grains. Symptoms are highly variable and can include vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, swelling, muscle wasting, weight loss, lethargy, anemia, depression, vitamin deficiencies, and bloating. However, most likely all symptoms are not present. 10% of people with celiac disease experience dermatitis herpetiformis.
First-degree relatives of a person with celiac disease have about a 10% chance of having this condition. Individuals with type 1 diabetes, thyroid disease, and Down syndrome also have a higher risk of having celiac disease. In genetically susceptible individuals who consume gluten, acute symptoms can be triggered by stress, infections, surgery, or pregnancy.
There are 6 major steps in digestion. The first is ingestion, which is when the food enters the GI tract via the mouth. The second is propulsion. This includes the movement of food through the GI tract, such as by swallowing and peristalsis. The third is mechanical breakdown, which physically prepares food for digestion. The fourth step is digestion. This involves a series of catabolic steps where enzymes break down complex food molecules. The fifth step is absorption, where the digested end products pass through the mucosal cells by active or passive transport into the blood and lymph. Defecation then removes indigestible substances via the anus. The small intestine is the body's major digestive organ. Digestion is completed and virtually all absorption occurs here. It has 3 structural modifications that increase the surface area. These are circular folds, villi, and microvilli. Villi are finger-like projections of the mucosa. The epithelial cells of the villi are made up of simple columnar absorptive cells bound by tight junctions and full of microvilli. The digested end product is absorbed through the epithelial cells of the villi and into the capillary blood.
There are a range of possible HLA-DQ protein types from DQ1 to DQ9 that are located on the surface of cells to act as receptors of antigen molecules. HLA-DQ2 and HLA-DQ8 bind glutathione peptide fragment more strongly and can trigger an immune response more easily. The human leukocyte antigen complex helps the immune system distinguish the self from non-self complex. The HLA-A1 and B1 provide instructions for making proteins. The proteins produced by these genes bind to each other, form a functional protein complex called an antigen-binding DQ alpha-beta heterodimer. In this diagram, it shows what happens at the cellular level when a person who has celiac disease ingests the protein gliadin. Normally, gliadin is too large to pass through the cell wall. In a person with this disease, there is an alteration in the permeability which allows peptides to pass. When this occurs, the gliadin peptide binds to the HLA-DQ receptor, activating the T cells, which creates an immune response resulting in villi damage. Pathophysiology. The disease results from an inappropriate T cell-mediated immune response against ingested gliadin, which is a protein found in gluten. Persons with this disease have an increased levels of IgA antibodies. The immune response produces an inflammatory reaction that damages the absorptive villi of the small intestine, preventing absorption of nutrients. The loss of tight junction barriers allows the immune response to be released into the systematic system.
Abdominal pain is caused by inflammation of the intestinal villi. Diarrhea results from flattened villi causing interrupted absorption. Swelling is from inflammation due to the T cell-mediated immune response. Dermatitis herpetiformis is from the IgA antibodies produced by the immune response attacking the skin along with the GI tract. Vitamin deficiencies and anemia result from improper nutrient absorption. People with celiac disease are at risk for osteoporosis, malnutrition, anemia, infertility, and gastrointestinal cancer. Key concept. Homeostasis is affected by the villi flattening due to an inflammatory response which prevents proper absorption of nutrients.
The proteins involved in celiac disease are gliadin, antibodies created by the immune response, and proteins produced by the HLA genes.
The cell membrane involvement includes the HLA-DQ-A1 and HLA-DQ-B1, which are found on the cell membrane of an antigen-presenting cell.
Along with a gluten-free diet, Elizabeth takes probiotics to ensure healthy bacteria in the intestine, vitamin B12 to promote nutrient absorption, and iron supplements to prevent anemia.
Created using Powtoon.